Welcome back, everybody. Episode number 6.
Number 6? I think it is
I
number
think
6.
So. Wow.
If we're gonna put them out in the order that we're recording.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of hard to believe that we're this far.
It is, yeah. Yeah, 6 episodes in. Because we record a little bit ahead, we only have 2 episodes out. We have 3 done, but only 2 are live. And so, it's, I've been happy with the response we've got. I think those of you that have given us positive feedback, we've appreciated it. I think we would appreciate some criticism as well, if it's helpful criticism, I guess.
Yeah.
Which we haven't received yet. So far, everything has been super positive, and it's fun to get those great comments back and to know that people are enjoying our podcast. Even though we've had some technical glitches along the way,
which you will definitely see by this time.
Yeah, and like hopefully slowly our quality will get better, and hopefully the lockdown will end soon and we can have some guests in the studio.
It's definitely a learning curve for the both of us.
Definitely, yeah. We've learned a lot in the few episodes that we've recorded and put out, and yeah, it's been fun, and again, just appreciate that people are enjoying it for sure.
Yeah.
That's why we're putting this out.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess to get started with this episode, we'll be talking about videos, skate videos.
Yeah. I guess this idea came up just because videos are such a crucial part of skate culture, and I think all of us can think of videos that have impacted us, and probably there's some that we go back to over and over again. We've watched lots of times, and so I thought it would be something for us to talk about. What with us coming from 2 different eras, I think it's going to look different for the way we perceive videos and maybe even the impact that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, let's talk about that. So, what would be the first video that for you that, like, thinking back, because I think as we were talking earlier, you don't remember the first skate video you watched.
Yeah.
And so what would be the first impactful skate video, one that was like, oh, wow?
That's really hard.
It's hard for me, too.
I'm going to have to think about that.
It's hard for me, too, because I'm so old and I have to go back so far to think. You don't have to go back as far as I do.
Yeah,
so.
But my memory, it may as well be. Oh, man. I don't know exactly, because I know a lot of people, they'll be like, I saw this video, saw this skater, that's what I'm basing my style on, kind of thing.
Right.
And it's just like so influential, but I've never really had that before where a video has influenced me so much, like, and but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, it isn't easy. It'd be interesting to hear what other people think. Maybe we get some feedback after this episode on it, but I know, like, I guess if I think of the ones that impacted me, it's the ones that were watched over and over and over again.
Right.
And I like, so when I started watching videos, they were VHS.
Right.
And so it wasn't easy to just like fast forward or whatever to a part and watch a part over and over. It was like you kind of stuck it in there and you watch the whole thing. Maybe sometimes you would fast forward to a part or rewind a part again.
Just kind of memorize the video.
Yeah, but for the most part, like we just watched, like just had them on repeat basically.
Right.
And I remember back in the Campbell Soup skate park days, we had the little TV with a VCR in there, and we just like some of those tapes just got worn right out.
Yeah. Like so much that you couldn't watch them anymore, kind of thing.
Yeah, they were just so fuzzy or whatever that. Yeah, and so thinking back of like Baker and I think Trans Worlds in Bloom was one that was pretty big. Like that was in Bloom, if I remember correctly, it was Tony Trujillo and Paul Rodriguez when they were AMs.
Oh, wow.
I think. I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me. And there was a couple, I can't remember who else was on there. Maybe Mikey Taylor was in that one too. And it was just like for its time, I just like it was a video that to this day I still enjoy watching that video. Like it was just so good. And yeah, so that was one that got worn out. Baker 3, I think that one actually we had on DVD already, but that one got played a lot.
I hadn't watched Baker 3 till 2020.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit embarrassed to say so, but I borrowed it from you. I borrowed probably like 10 different videos from you to watch. You're like, here's some older ones. Just watch these, or like, these are my favorites kind of thing. Or not favorites, but you're like, these ones are really good.
Yeah.
Just to kind of educate me a bit on them. And so for a few days or weeks or whatever, I just watched all these videos. And that's the first time I ever watched Baker 3.
Yeah, and it came out when? 2002?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I could be wrong, but I think it's around 2002.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So then watching those videos then, what are your comments from watching the old videos that I sent you?
I thought some of them were pretty cool because one of them was a Skates video. It was chapter 1.
Right.
I thought that was really cool because you watch it and it's like, I don't recognize a lot of the guys just because I came into the skate scene so late.
Right.
But recognizing some of the spots and like just like having that local feel to it was really cool.
Right.
Another one that I really enjoyed watching was Chris Haslam and Day One Song's Cheese and Crackers.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's just like it's a whole part on mini ramp, a whole video on mini ramp.
Right.
But then like they start off doing these crazy tricks on a mini ramp and then they start doing extensions and it just like it eventually just gets way too wild. Like,
right.
What am I even watching at this point? But
it's interesting because that video, if I remember correctly, when it came out, it kind of like it was either you liked it or you didn't. Because like guys that skated mini really liked it. Street guys maybe were like thought it was a bit gimmicky. But the reality is like almost round 4, which has those guys, has Scheckler and Mullen in it.
Right.
There was like that one too is like an interesting, like anytime you have a Rodney Mullen part, it brings a different kind of, and Day One as well, right? Like Day One has his own kind of style, and Mullen obviously has his style, and so those videos, they have like Cheese and Crackers, I think it has more of a following now than it did when it first came out. When it first came out, guys are like, am I allowed to like this? It's not any street skating in it. It's
kind of 50-50. Like, it's just like,
yeah,
some liked it, some didn't.
Yeah, and I don't remember what the ratio would have been, but I just remember, like, some dudes are stoked on it, and other dudes were like, whether they were or not, they weren't going to admit it.
Right.
But we did definitely get lots of play on that one in the shop. I'm pretty sure that was shop days when that one came out, and it got played a lot. As did I think it was Campbell Soup days when Almost Round 4 came out, and I just remember the soundtrack from that one because it got played so much that the soundtrack, like, anytime I hear any of those songs now, I can't help but think of that video.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's crazy how it just imprints, and I'm watching it over and over and over.
Yeah.
Did you ever get so sick of the soundtrack that you just switched the sound off?
I don't remember doing that, but I remember because that one we had on DVD, and so then the menu screen had a song that just played over and over. And so what would happen was the video would play through, and we'd be off skating or whatever, and then you'd come back, because back in those days at the Campbell Soup skate park, we had a little shop in there where the videos played, had a little couch and stuff. And so you'd go out of there into the skate park, and you'd skate, and then you'd come back, and the video had stopped, and it goes back to the menu screen, and it just plays this song over and over, and it's got a animated kind of menu that just was on a loop. And like, at first you'd walk in there and you'd hear it, whatever, you wouldn't know. But after a while, it was just like, okay, enough of this. Press play again. Let it play through, and then, like, repeat that process over and over again with that video.
That's with, like, any DVD. Like, sometimes when I'm at my place and I watch a movie on a DVD, yes, I still use DVDs. I don't have internet, so I can't use Netflix all the time. So, so, and sometimes I'll get lazy and it'll just sit on the menu, and it's just like
on repeat.
Oh, it's annoying.
Just a loop.
Yeah, you just hear the iRobot soundtrack over and over, or intro music over and over again.
Is that your go-to DVD to watch?
No, I just bought it the other day. So.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, MCC's my buddy for DVDs. So.
Oh yeah. So what is what's the song that plays for the menu on that?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
So you haven't had it on long enough.
Yeah, I guess not.
So yeah, like, it's interesting. How different parts of them just impact you, right? Like I don't know if any other video the soundtrack affects me like Almost Round 4, and I'm not sure why. It's not. I don't remember it being a great soundtrack, but just for some reason, it just, that one, when I hear the songs, I think of that video.
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only other one that does that for me, oh man, I have to try and remember now. There's a snowboard video. It's not The Art of Flight. It's the one that came out before that. And it had such a good soundtrack, and it got played so much in the wintertime in the shop that soundtrack was really good too. And now whenever I hear songs that are from there, I think of that video.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, videos impact us in ways maybe we don't even realize, right? And that's the interesting thing. I'm curious, what style of video do you like? Like, I think of the different types of skate videos. Like, you got the, if I could classify them, and I'm probably going to miss some, and somebody's going to be disappointed that I did, but that's fine. There's the style where it's just like throwing
Just heavy,
yeah, like
aggressive.
like I think right away of Zero videos where it's just like they're just like, yeah, heavy is a good way to put it. And then there's the hijinks videos. Like back in the shop days, the ice cream video got played all the time. And now when I watch it, I'm like, that's hardly a skate video. Like there's hardly skating in it. It seems like, I'm like, why did we watch this so much? Like I remember the guys coming from the high school at lunch to hang out, and that video went into the DVD player, and that's what was played over lunch. And like for a long time, it was like every day. And so in my mind, it was this like just this awesome video that was fun to watch. And I watched it the other day. I'm like, it's not as good as I remember it.
What else was in there other than skateboarding? Just a ton of B-roll?
Yeah. Like, it's got Terry Kennedy, so he's
just a goof.
Yeah, he's just goofing off, and a couple other guys, and it's just tons of footage of them goofing off. So there's that style, and then there's the, I guess, a style that I really enjoy is like where it just has the feel like it's bros going skating. There's a video, I think it's called First and Hope, where they just like hit the streets of LA, and it just like, it's not like banger after banger. It's like guys just like skating down the street, going to a spot, doing some stuff at that spot, and then it's like skating down the street again.
Yeah.
And that feel, so
I remember you would often talk about Super Champion Fun Zone. Is that what it is?
Right. So that one's a tour video. So there's another version. Yeah.
But it's just bros going out skating. Like, it's very mellow, and it's not like, there's no like bangers or anything. It's just like half of it is like Mark Gonzalez just like shouting and riding a bike and just like,
it's Mark Gonzalez being Mark Gonzalez.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. And it's a pretty chill video, but it's like an hour and a half or something, isn't it? It's a pretty long video.
It is long. Yeah, it is long.
Maybe not quite that, video. But
and I guess maybe for me, the appeal to videos like that and just the bro video is maybe you get more of a feel of the skater's character. Whereas like if it's just showing them like hitting a rail and then another rail and then another rail and then maybe like a big drop or something, like I don't get to know too much about the character of that skater.
Interesting.
And so for me, that's appealing, is like, I want to know this guy. I know, like, I think of Paul Rodriguez put out a while ago these videos of like him going to visit his grandma and stuff like that. And like, I enjoy kind of getting to see who these people are.
Right. Yeah. That's really interesting. I never thought of it that way. Because my favorite type of videos is like not, sometimes I really like the heavy ones where it's just like huge sets, huge rails, huge. But it's not like a lot of them, it's just very, like when they have like the low shots and they're just like cruising down the street or just like in a plaza or something, just hitting ledges, doing like more like lower stuff, I guess, just ledges, small handrails, small stairs, like, but it's just so like elegant. Is that the right word?
Maybe.
I don't know. It's just like more I'm gonna use the word majestic.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that
Majestic.
like ASMR.
Yeah.
Majestic. Just kidding. Just like, yeah, it's not just chucking themselves. It's more like technical. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that leads me to ask you a question. Do you prefer like a technical video or like a hucker video?
Probably a technical video. Yeah.
So it's not about like how big the sets are or big rails. It's like just some like guys being technical on ledges or
Right. Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
But I do like it when people just chuck themselves because you're like, man, that's insane. Like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The problem, I guess, for me with that is this idea of like there's only so big you can go and only so many things you can do on a rail, that it's like if you're looking for like bigger, better, how do you get there, right? Whereas if you can just appreciate the technical side of it, I think there's value in that too, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I don't like those hucker videos. I just think like I don't need to see somebody do it on a bigger spot or a bigger rail, right?
Yeah. So it's like just as impressive because of the style or what?
Yeah, I guess so. Like I guess for an example, if you look at Woodsworth in Winnipeg,
right?
Like I don't get tired of watching footage from that rail. It's not like, oh, now it's looking small because everyone's been able to hit it. We need something bigger. No, it's like I'm happy seeing footage on that rail.
I feel that. I'm the same.
And sometimes with the hucker videos, I feel like they're looking to always find the bigger and crazier.
Right.
And I don't need that in a video, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Right. Like it was cool to see Jaws go down the line 25, right. But like I watched them like cool, and it's not like, oh, we need something better, like
it's not like now everybody has to do that in order to impress me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm still happy watching somebody hit a 8 stair rail or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So as much as like I don't mind a zero video, but I think there is, I appreciate the tech side like you're talking about. Sometimes like when I think of tech, I think of Shane O'Neill.
Yes.
And it's almost
the tech king.
Yeah, almost robotic.
It is.
And that's, again, I guess going back to my original comment, is this idea that I like if they're just like tearing down the street and hitting a spot and then tearing down the street again, or the idea of it's just like somehow I'm getting a sense of the person's character or a feel for like what it would be like to skate with them.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And maybe it's all like, because for me, skateboarding is all about the community. Like, I'm not going to go skate by myself. I'm not really interested in, like, if I'm going to go skate, I want to skate with somebody.
Would you go skate by yourself? Like, you prefer not to, but would you?
I would, and I have, but what I find is typically I don't last long.
Same.
I lose motivation super quick, and so I prefer to skate with people. And so maybe that's part of why it's like, oh, like, what's it like to skate with that person? Like, to get a feel for that rather than just the hitting the tricks one after another, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, why I don't mind some of those hijinks videos too. Like even like the way Beagle puts a lot of B-roll in Baker stuff, right? Like just the behind the scenes or what, the goofiness or whatever. I like to see that in the skate video. It to me, it gives it character. Yeah. I don't see a lot of character in the just trick after trick after trick.
Yeah. I feel that. Yep.
So, yeah, it's just a personal preference. I have nothing against those other ones. It's just what I prefer. And
yep.
So.
Cool. So, I guess we could talk a bit about just how things have changed with videos. So.
Yeah. Like I kind of brought that up. This idea that back in the day we watched VHS, so it was a pain to kind of skip parts or whatever. It's not that we didn't do it. It's just typically you watched a video, and even with DVDs, you typically, especially a new one, like you'd watch it all the way through and then you'd watch it all the way through multiple times, I think, before you actually would skip to certain parts. And maybe it's different with different people. Maybe there were people then that really just, I would say that there were guys back then that were like, okay, let's just watch this guy's part because it gets me stoked. And I do remember, especially once we were into DVDs, that it's like, let's watch this guy's part and go and skate, because I'm stoked to skate after watching this guy's part.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, I think we'd watch the whole video and be stoked to go skate. Or we would watch enough of it till we were stoked, and then we'd turn it off and go and skate. But yeah, and nowadays it's a different thing. Like it seems to be more about clips now. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. I think like Instagram has a big part in that. The whole clip thing, like I'll scroll through Instagram and it'll be like, oh, here's this person's just doing this, and it's like a minute long video. So it's like your video part on Instagram, basically. Like there's some people that like their whole thing is just Instagram clips. Like they don't really make parts or anything. It's just Instagram clips. This is where I express my skating, is on Instagram.
You're right.
Which is very interesting, I guess, because you can get, I guess, known way faster. Like I know of people that are skating that I would have no idea who they are if I didn't go on Instagram. Right. Like a lot of them aren't in the videos, but even the videos.
Yeah, like I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like there isn't as many full length videos coming out from companies anymore.
It's true.
And it's more like some guys are putting out like a part, or two guys put out a part together, or something.
Or even the companies that are putting out parts are not usually full.
Right.
Like it's just like 20 minutes or something is like, I don't know if 20 minutes is average, but yeah, like you don't see any parts that are an hour or whatever, right? Like you don't.
So would you say that it's the influence of the 1 minute clip on Instagram has made it so that we don't have the
patience for it, or
like we want like just something quick and then move on to the next thing.
Right. That could be.
Like we don't have the focus to like stay with something long enough.
Right. Yeah, well, I know even a couple of years back we purchased the Element Peace video.
Yeah.
And we had a viewing here. I don't know, how many guys do you think? We had like 10 guys or something?
Yeah, about 10 guys came to watch, yeah.
And I know like partway through it, there was like a lot of people that were like checking out. Like
on their phones or like goofing off. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was there. I was just like chatting with everyone. I'm like, check that out. Like trying to get it going. Cause I was like, I don't know. I'm pumped to just sit there with a bunch of people and watch videos and just hang out. But it was like, a lot of them seemed like they checked out on it and just.
Yeah. It's like going to, somebody's house to watch a football game or something. It's like, if you actually want to watch a football game, you stay home. If you want to like hang out and have a good time, then you go watch at a friend's house, right?
That's
like
true.
That now with the skate videos, because people, like back in the day, it was like everyone just watched the thing like from start to finish.
Well, and a lot of the time, you would have the video, and nobody else would. Right. And so they were like, oh, we got it. We have, like, you had to go out.
Yeah. Now they haven't already seen all the individual parts on YouTube.
Yeah. Cause a lot of the time, now video or companies will just put out, like, for the Peace video, I think they put out like 3 of the people's parts.
Yeah.
And like the ones that everyone's looking for.
Right.
They posted those parts already. So by the time we watched the video, we're like, everyone's seen half of it. I didn't watch any of them because I was like, I want to save it for that night. But like a lot of the people that came to it probably had already seen it. But like back in the day, like you knew the video was coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to wait for it and you watched it through but if you've already seen half of it, you can just skip over it, watch it later, whatever.
Yeah. Or you just lose focus because, I seen this part, but then when a part hasn't come on, you've already lost focus. So to bring it back in is harder, right? The other thing that's interesting nowadays is this idea of, like, you don't watch a video as much, right? Like, because there's so much, like, short content. Like, I think of Thrasher and Kingscape magazine, like their online presence where they like post the new content, and it's like something you watch today is so far down the feed.
Yeah, it's buried by 20 videos.
Yeah,
20 new videos. Yeah.
So it's like, it's not like the old days where you'd get a video and you'd watch it till it wore out, and then another video would come out, and then you'd watch that one. Right? Like you. And that's the interesting thing about it too, is because everything's so forgettable because you've only watched it once. Whereas like those old videos, I remember them so well, and even the soundtracks, like I was saying, like I remember, like I hear the soundtrack and I remember that video. Nowadays, you would never watch a video long enough to remember the soundtrack, right?
Yeah. And I wish I grew up in the era where I had to wait for videos and just memorized it. Because, like, I don't remember soundtracks. Ask me a video and see if I can name a song from it.
Yeah. And that's the interesting thing, because, like, back then, we were, like, a new video would come out. Or, like, I remember waiting for the girl video, to come out. Like, everyone was, like, amped on that for it to come out. And then it comes out and you just watch it over and over and over again because you're waiting for the next one, whatever company's coming out with the next one. And you weren't getting a new footage every day for starters. And not only that, you weren't getting like not only do you get new stuff every day now, you get like 100 times more per day than what we were getting back then.
Yeah. When I watch skate videos, I have just a folder in my YouTube, and I'll save the ones that I like there so that they don't get lost, and so I remember them.
And do you watch them again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
So some videos would get watched again, but not to the extent that we were.
No. I don't watch them like every day kind of thing, or
Yeah, I know for myself, like watching videos on Thrasher, it's like I'll see a video that like impresses me or I really like, and then I'll like maybe share it with you or share it with somebody else, and then it's gone.
right.
Same thing with like when somebody sends me a link and it's like, oh man, like this video was awesome, and I'll watch it and like, yeah, that was awesome, and then it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So in that way, today is so different than the way it was way back when I was watching skate videos a lot. Like it was, yeah, we just didn't have the content, and so it's interesting. Like how I wonder how that shapes the way young guys that are watching the content and then going and skating. I wonder how that changes that. Do you have any comment on that? Like, I just think like, because we watch the same thing over and over and over again, then like I think you remember more like, oh, so-and-so did this on this or whatever. And nowadays it's like, it's harder to even remember what you watched. And so,
like how would that influence you?
Yeah, I'm just curious, like how that influences a skater today differently than the way we did.
Yeah, like if you watched the Yeah Right video over and over again, you kind of like start getting an influence on that style, right? Is that what you're meaning?
Yeah.
But then now,
now
there's so many different videos out that you see so many different styles, and there's not much of an influence.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not as curated, I guess, is what I would say too. Like, because anybody can throw something up on Instagram, and if enough people start watching it, it gets out there. And so, like, I think back in the day, it was very controlled what you got to see. You got to see what the skate industry wanted you to see.
Right.
And nowadays, like, there's guys that are putting stuff out on social media and to the public nowadays that probably would have been criticized for their style or whatever back in the day. And now they probably are criticized, but because they get enough people watching, it's like you can't ignore them, right? Whereas back in the day, you could just like shuffle a guy away. Right. Like if nobody from the industry, and the industry was so small, nobody from the industry liked somebody's style, they had nowhere to go. And nowadays you can just put out content yourself. Yeah.
And there's so many styles that I'm like, that's ridiculous. But if you say anything, everyone's like, oh, it's it's an art form, and I agree with that. I agree that it's an art form and that people can express themselves through it, but it's like, they're like, now everyone has so many different styles, but back then it was like kind of, are you saying like it's kind of all blended into a similar, like everyone had a different style, but it's kind of similar, but now it's like,
like I think there were certain styles that were permitted back then. And so not everybody had the same style, but they had.
But if you did this style,
the approved styles.
If you did this style, you're not skateboarding.
Yeah. Like if you do the like, what would the word be for some of the stuff that gets out there now? Like, maybe like little bit circusy or whatever. Like, I don't understand it, but like they get lots of views and people like that.
Yeah. I seen this one guy that, like, I don't know if I've shown you him. I won't say his name, but he like skates with his hands.
Right.
He'll go up to a ramp, jump off his board, put his hands on his board, and like put his hands into a blunt kick flip out, and then it'll like roll down and he'll jump back on it.
Yeah.
And that's like his
thing.
And it's like every video that he has, he's doing that. And I'm like, dude. And I saw, like, this guy's kind of Instagram famous, I guess. And I saw one of our guys comment and was like, this isn't skateboarding. And he got attacked. Like, he got ripped apart because he's like, they're like, art, this is an art form, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot different these days.
Yeah. So the fact that a guy like that has a stage to present his art form is not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
But at the same time, for some of us purists, we'd be like, yeah, that's not skateboarding.
Right.
And that's why I say, like, back in the day, the industry had more control.
Yeah. The industry would have ripped that guy apart.
The industry wouldn't have given him a space.
Yeah.
Like, he would have never got anywhere because everyone would have ignored him.
Yes.
Right? And so, which I think there's probably positive and negative to both sides, because now you get some weird stuff out there that I'm not sure about, but at the same time, who makes me the judge of what's skateboarding and what's cool, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, because it is art, and when you look at art, I don't appreciate all forms of art.
It's true.
But there are forms that I do appreciate, and so that's what I'm going to consume. And so in the same, like, so in skateboarding, it can be a positive thing because now there's a form out there that's not curated by the industry that there might be dudes that are really into and appreciate, and it's for them.
Yep.
And I don't have to appreciate it, but there's still lots of content for me.
Yeah, and if that's what's getting you on a board and getting you stoked, then by all means,
Right.
Like, just, it's getting you out, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's just getting you out on a board, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Just know that you may get picked on at the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's definitely room for it.
Yeah.
I don't have room for it necessarily, but that doesn't mean there isn't room for it. And that's one of the things that in my idea of skateboarding being inclusive, I have to step out of what I think of it as skate culture and have some openness to that. Not that I have to embrace it, but I have to be open to it because who am I to decide what's cool and what's not, and what's art and what's not, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's my background in skateboarding tells me that there's no value in that. And yet that's not being inclusive. And so I feel like, I feel pretty judgy and condescending if I put that out there like that. And that's against everything that attracted me to skateboarding. Because in skateboarding attracted me because of its inclusiveness and its willingness. Like, I was an older guy trying to learn and had no style or anything, and yet I was included. And so who am I to exclude people?
It's true.
So
it's a good little tidbit in there, or just like a little yeah. No, that was really good. That's a really good way to put it. Just like, who are we kind of thing. We're not the kings of skateboarding. We don't make the rules.
Right. And there should be nobody making the rules.
Exactly. You make your own
There's
rules.
no hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
There shouldn't be anyways.
Yeah, there kind of is sometimes, but
it can feel that way.
Yeah.
So going back to videos.
Yep.
What are you looking for when you watch a video?
That's a tough question. Kind of like, I guess, like I kind of know like it's a certain feel, like, but I can't express what I'm trying to say for that. So I was gonna mention this when we were talking about like the YouTube or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And the one video that I really like on YouTube, you sent it to me a while ago, was Jobs Never, like the Jim Greco one.
Oh yeah.
And like it's just so different. Yeah, and I like uniqueness. I also just like just your regular skate video, people just doing tricks and whatever, but Jim Greco's part is just, or his video is just so interesting, just like some of the angles. And I like certain filming when it's like all the grainy kind of B-roll clips or whatever. But yeah, just his uniqueness. Like there's this one part in that video that he is skating in his apartment while his his wife watches TV. Yeah. I actually went onto his Instagram the other day just to watch that section, and he posted it. Yeah. And he like, I don't know why, but this is stuck in my mind. I talk about this part in this video so much that he has a kicker ramp, and he goes and he like does a nose pick on his fridge. Yeah. And then like just pulls it back in, and he's doing it in like slacks and like a dress shirt and dress shoes, and I think he's wearing dress shoes, or maybe they're just like fancy skate shoes. I think they're like a velvet or something, and he's just like dressed super fancy, and he just like goes up and like nose picks on his fridge, and it just the way it's set up. He has like a road sign, and he does like a wall ride on his brick wall in his apartment, and then at one point he like nose blunts his car, and like the back of his car, and it's just like, I guess just such a uniqueness of it, and just it's such a classy video that I think that's But then I also just love just a fun video, like just people goofing off, whatever, So I don't exactly know what I look for in a skate video.
Here's another question for you.
Sure.
HD or SD?
Oh. To be honest, I like a bit of a lower quality. Yeah. I don't mind when it's really like really well done, and it's very just like high definition. Yeah. But yeah, I like a bit of a lower quality where it's
I love the box of SD, like going back to like VX footage or whatever. Right. I love the box because HD is wide, right? Right. And you get so much, like in order to get the skater in it, you're getting like you have so much on the sides. Whereas with SD, it's more of a boxy video, so you can actually like focus more on the skater and have them bigger part of the shot. Right. But I really like the crispness of HD. So they both have their place for me. I struggle with the quality, like when I see like if it like nowadays when I look back at some of the footage that we have here, taken from the old Canon GL, it just looks so blurry to me. But in its time, I don't remember thinking that at all. And I thought, this is awesome footage. But now I watch it, I'm like, it looks blurry to me because I'm so used to watching HD. So yeah, they both definitely have qualities. And I think there's, like, when it comes to videos, some people do really well with either one of those, right? Like, I can watch a video nowadays that's done in a SD that I'm like, that was really well done. It was good. Like, the quality was fine.
Right.
And then I can watch a HD, and some guys can do them really well too, where you don't notice that it's so wide and that you're getting all the extra stuff in the shot.
Right.
So, yeah, I think they both have a place. To pick one, if I had to pick, it'd be hard. I think I'd still have to go HD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still like just the quality. I think we can wrap it up then.
Yeah. That is episode 6 of the Platform Podcast.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, watching, and commenting.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. And, if this is your first one, check out our other episodes. And what else?
You can also check out our Patreon. It's a way that you can support our podcast, but also to allow the youth in our area to be able to skate here for free.
That's right. By supporting our Patreon, you're not just supporting the podcast, you're supporting the skate scene locally here.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate it. We are grateful for our patrons.
Yeah. Our patrons, as of right now, is Jaden Asham, Joel Reimer, and Melissa Moman.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next week.
All right. See you later.